Ready to go.
Done?
What do you think Willie's going through right now?
I think it might have been a tough game for him yesterday. He had a lot of family and friends that were there, you know, from the Kansas City area. So I think you could think about that a little bit. Just wasn't one of his better games, but I know that he'll rebound because he's playing at a high level, and we're not concerned at all. We just got to get back to it today and put that one behind him.
How did you feel like you guys played last night?
I thought we played pretty well. I think we get a little bit spoiled every now and then. You know, the numbers were fine. You know, points scored against us was fine. You know, we had a couple breakdowns that we typically don't have, especially in pick and roll defense, where they scored, I think, 6 or 8 points on that, which is pretty unusual against our team. But give them credit, they made adjustments to the first time we played them. When we were switching, they were doing some certain things to us in the pick and roll game. But overall, to come back off the road and win by 16 in front of their biggest crowd they've had all year it felt good.
But on the pick and roll, was that communication problems or?
A little bit of both. Not only did it affect the ball handler and the screener's defender, but especially the guys off the ball where we call it tag. We're trying to tag on the pick and roll to have help there, and that help wasn't there. So it was almost more off the ball than it was on the ball.
Speaking of adjustments, what kind do you think Alabama will make tomorrow from the first game?
Well, you know, they played us all zone the first game and played their tandem matchup zone. I think they'll mix it up a little bit this time with some man and some zone, and have us make shots. We did a good job in the first outing of getting the ball inside and playing inside out, which was really effective for us. It got them in a little bit of foul trouble. Got us into a good rhythm, and we made shots that game, and our players did a good job of following the game plan pretty well.
It's been 3 straight games with fewer than 10 3-point attempts. Is that by design by you all, or is that something the opponents have been doing differently?
No, it wasn't by design. I mean, if they're open, we want to shoot them. So from our standpoint, if they're not forcing threes, we'll take what they give us. Our big guys have been doing a good job of kicking it back out. Probably could do it a few more, but we want our guys to be a little bit more aggressive going to the rim, especially in Aaron. And he showed that last night. In the last couple games, he's shown that. Against his zone could be different. Missouri played us all man-to-man. We just got to go with, you know, how the game is flowing and take open shots when they're there.
John, I know you're going to tell us you live in the moment. You can't look at history, but
All right, next question. No, go ahead.
to have you know, your team this year do something, have a start that hasn't been done since the 1960s is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it gives the players a ton of credit. I mean, it's they're finding a way how to win games. It's kind of neat that they can make their mark as a team, but they probably don't even know it. But it's kind of it's a good feeling to have, and then we're just going to try to keep stringing games along right now.
So what about Karl? How do you feel like he's playing, and are people really trying to be physical with him right now?
They're definitely trying to be physical with him. There's no question, and he's finding that out. I thought in the first half last night that he played very, very well. Even though he had a turnover, I think on the first possession of the game, held his position much deeper into the paint. When he's aggressive like that and goes and catches the ball with 2 hands and catches it in tight, we like that. We just don't like when he fades away or he settles for, you know, getting post position off the block. I mean, that doesn't do us any good, and our spacing's terrible. But he knows, and he's working at it. We need to have some type of presence inside, whether it be from Dakari or Karl or Willie or Marcus. Probably the first 3 more than Marcus. He's more of a offensive rebounder type. But you know, we'll get that. And you know, for Karl, it's a little bit of confidence. and understanding how strong you have to be able to play on the blocks.
How big of an adjustment is that for a freshman to hold his position on the block and not get pushed off when he's used to playing against smaller players where that was probably pretty easy for him in the past?
Well, you'd have to ask a post player. I'm definitely not that. But I mean, you don't forget he's young, so I'm sure it's a new thing, and playing against someone near or at the same size you are, not only in the games but in practice every day when you're going up against the bigger players on our team. It's only going to help him, and it's helped our entire team because the practice has been competitive. It just has to translate into games.
John, Andrew played well last night, but he hasn't played well recently. Have you guys done anything to help him get out of this funk, or
No.
like a different guy on the court last night?
He, you know what? He warmed up great. He had a great attitude, really good shoot around. He was aggressive, and he pushed the ball, and he was playing with confidence last night. Maybe seeing the ball go in a couple times, even if it's free throws. But we really liked his pace of game. Didn't start great last night, but towards the latter part of the first half and the second half, he pushed the tempo a little bit more and was more aggressive and used his size to his advantage.
How hard is this turnaround in less than 48 hours, especially when you play a 9 o'clock game?
That's probably the only drawback, but we're going to face that in the SEC tournament. We're going to face it in the NCAA tournament. We got back about 1:40 last night, so the guys, probably got back to campus about 2 o'clock, and we're going to work out later today, show them some film and get ready for Alabama. But these kids are used to playing AAU basketball. We're playing 4 or 5 times a day, and that's a good thing about playing as many players as we're playing, is that they should be somewhat okay with physically.
Anything else? Thanks, guys.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be down in just a minute.